Spoilers for Disney's Predator Killer of Killers by Disney, now available on Disney Plus by Disney, or on Disney's Hulu. Disney's new Predator animated film Killer of Killers, or Predator Cock as it's known by its fans, is a movie I'm a bit conflicted on. As a longtime Predator fan, I feel like I need to keep my expectations lower than the troposphere in order to not hate anything new. Nothing comes close to that original film in my eyes, and after seeing this iconic creature get violated on screen in 2018's The Predator, I'm typically happy to just get a decently entertaining film that isn't an abomination. I enjoyed Prey for the most part, despite its flaws and the clumsy ending, so seeing that the director Dan Trachtenberg has ambitions to continue exploring the Predator universe, to me, is welcome. At this point, I'm happy to watch decent to okay Predator material on a casual fun level. Predator Cock is interesting because it takes more from the premise of Robert Rodriguez's 2010 Predators than it does from the original film, abducting several dangerous people and taking them to a predator-controlled hunting ground, instead of predators hunting them in the victims' worlds. But unlike the people in Predators, this time the abductees are people who have killed a predator before. We follow three characters, spending most of the movie telling their personal stories of how they came across a predator, each in a crucial point in their lives. First is Ursa, and I think she's by far the most interesting character. A female Viking leader who rose to power in a lifelong mission to avenge her father's murder when she was a child. She's full of rage and sadness, mercilessly killing anyone she has to find her father's killer. Traveling with her is her son, learning the ways of their people, not quite ready to kill like his mother is. After slaughtering an entire village and pressing the surviving leader for information as to her father's killer's whereabouts, her son hesitates when it's time to kill, and she does it for him. Ursa's story could be an entire movie itself, and once she comes across the big bad guy's village, all hell breaks loose, with a fun attack sequence and the arrival of the Predator. This is the son's moment to step up as he takes the kill and makes his mother proud. The Predator is a much larger, beastier version than what we've seen before, primarily armed with a really cool charge fist with a sonic wave. Ursa is victorious in the end, but her son tragically dies as a result of the battle. This, of course, spoils her revenge, leaving her more broken than before. It's a good story, there's cool Predator ideas, and obviously the animation and art are gorgeous. I'm a little tired of the low frame rate style ever since the new Spider-Man became really popular, but it is really nice to look at. In my opinion, the only negative is the extremely over-the-top action. While fun and more acceptable in animation than in real life, much of the Predator fight is hyper-exaggerated and convoluted. I know the original Predator is over the top and campy too, with its ridiculous opening combat scene, Arnold lifting the truck and putting explosives on it, throwing the machete into someone's chest, supposedly trained commandos spraying their guns from the hip, and just standing out in the open, never getting shot as they kill dozens. It's insane, so I don't want to criticize this new movie's village attack by focusing on how she carelessly runs in alone and takes out a bunch of guards while she obviously would have immediately gotten killed. Some suspension of disbelief is required, in line with the series. But the original Predator confrontation was something that took time to unfold, and Dutch had to really think and plan to find a way to outsmart the Predator in fairly grounded and realistic ways. In this movie, the defeat of the Predator feels really rushed, and too comic book, if you know what I mean. Ursa is strong, but there's no way she should be able to survive the hits she takes. She falls into a frozen lake and spends an unrealistic amount of time in there, eventually making it out without going into shock from the cold. She's just okay. She instantly spots an air pocket to swim up for a breath, while anyone else would surely just panic and die down there. A better movie would have set this up earlier instead of it just happening in the moment. Ursa figures out so quickly how to outsmart the Predator, setting up a way to break the ice and make him fall into the water, tangling him up in chains, triggering his piston to shoot at her at the perfect angle to send him back, impaling him on an anchor spike, while she blocks with her shield and goes flying to the surface. It goes perfectly and feels so convenient and fake, it's like a comic book movie. Again, I don't mind it so much because it's an animated stylized film, but beyond it just looking cool, it's not very satisfying for the battle to go this way. But she does win, and her son dies in her arms. We see that now she's a prisoner on a Predator ship, with another man in view that's about to have his story told. We meet Kenji, who as a young boy grew up in the household of a strict samurai father that put him against his brother to prove who the true warrior was. Kenji didn't have it in him to go against the brother he loved, but his brother did. After he wins the fight, the brother becomes the leader of this place as an adult, and Kenji went the way of the ninja. This story actually takes place 800 years after Ursa's, so the question is, how are these two people alive at the same time in the Predator ship? Mysterious. Anyway, we aren't told much of anything about the brothers' lives, because nearly the entire story is silent. The tension between them, the action, the decisive moments of strategy, all masterfully shown without the need for exposition, yelling, or characters speaking their thoughts out loud for the audience like we're dumb. That's foreshadowing. Kenji makes his way in and takes out a bunch of guards, and while the brothers fight, the Predator's there just waiting. After an intense fight, Kenji has his brother cornered, pressed against a wooden railing, which suddenly breaks. Kenji can't save his brother as he falls, and now he's gotta deal with the guilt. He didn't want this, or at least not this way. Enter the Predator. This one has a spear and a chain launcher. The spear opens up at the end, cutting people in half, and the chain can recoil so fast it can cut a tree in half. These tools are used excellently in the fight scenes, with Kenji going on to use the spear's ability to his advantage as a stepping point. The action here is great. Lots of people get killed, as you want in a Predator story. Kenji finds that his brother actually survived the fall, and now they have to team up to defeat the beast, like Ursa using the Predator technology against him, which is becoming a theme in Trachtenberg's stories. Naru from Prey used the helmet's targeting system to get the Predator to shoot himself, and now both Predators in these two stories are defeated by their own gear. Kenji and his brother are wounded in battle, with the brother not surviving. After much silence, finally we have dialogue, Kenji saying to his brother that he is not alone. Honestly, another pretty good Predator short story, one whose style shows the power of visual storytelling. Barely a word is spoken, and we understand everything we need to simply with what we are shown. It's a story that, despite its cartoonish exaggerations of action, grounds us with its serious and, more importantly, quiet presentation of the conflict. Wouldn't it be nice if the movie, from here, simply continued with these two characters in whatever the Predators had planned for them? Wouldn't it suck if we had to be introduced to a kid from the 1940s that talks like a Disney character and has to take down a giant Predator warship in an air battle with other military planes? Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start. The story of Johnny Torres is essentially a short Disney-style story, with a character that has to say all of his thoughts out loud like a children's film character needs to because kids aren't mature enough yet to understand things that aren't spelled out for them.
This isn't even from my century! I got a bad idea. Goodbye, invisibility. Thanks, Dad. Gotta flood the engine. What? How long was I asleep? Never thought I'd be so happy to see the enemy.
Torres is so annoying, it ruins the film. Torres is supposed to be back on the ship fixing his plane when he realizes his squadron is in trouble. He goes up to warn them in his rickety ship, they all get killed, his captain sacrifices himself when they're flying so high that the altitude instantly cools their engines so the Predator can't track them. And then Torres, you guessed it, uses the Predator's own technology against him, destroying the ship in the most ridiculous, unbelievable stunt imaginable. In a cringe moment spelled out to us in Disney children's film style, Torres remembers his childhood lesson about not flooding the engine with gas, and he floods the plane engine with gas, getting the Predator torpedo to snare it and suck it up into the ship with perfect accuracy.
ridiculous.
We have come so far from Dutch luring a predator to step under a log trap in the jungle he spent hours rigging. Now we get rookie pilots hanging onto the wing of their aircraft mid-air trying to kick off a flaming engine while running away from a predator warship. Oh, how I yearn for simpler times. You know what, I would forgive this entire awful story if it were a setup for Torres immediately getting killed in the next section. Like a joke. I would respect the commitment. But no, now we have all three characters in a predator arena being forced to fight to the death. They were cryogenically frozen and thawed out to be predator entertainment, which is an idea I'm not crazy about. I thought that when you killed a predator, you earned their respect. Donald Glover gets the pistol at the end of Predator 2. Lady gets a staff at the end of AVP for her heroism with the Scar Predator killing the Queen. She was marked with her warrior symbol too. They're a race of respect. I'm not taking the comic books as canon, but there is a cool comic book of Batman vs. Predator where he kills a predator at the end, it impales itself on a sword, and the elders give it to him because they respect him. Now, according to this movie, everyone who has ever killed a predator also gets punished by being kidnapped, frozen for centuries, and then put into an arena to fight to the death? That sucks. I don't like that. I think this really ruins the predators. They hunt for sport, they believe in fairness, they don't kill pregnant women, they don't kill sick old people, they don't shoot you if you don't have a gun, they'll fight hand to hand if that's what you want, and they respect someone that can actually defeat a predator. Why would they give a valuable prize to someone who's victorious, walk away, and then come back to kidnap them and put them in a deathmatch for their entertainment? It makes them seem petty. Like, if you were hunting a tiger, and the tiger outsmarted you, it beat your ass up, and you were like, you know what, respect to that tiger. I had the advantage and he took me down. I'm gonna give him my grandfather's gold necklace, passed down through generations as a symbol of my respect. And then you come back a month later to put that same tiger in a cage with a grizzly bear so they can fight to the death while you eat popcorn. What the fuck? Anyway, the king predator comes down in his warship and announces there can only be one survivor. A predator prisoner is marched out with the same collar on his neck that our heroes have. The king raises his wrist and detonates it, blowing the predator's head off. Everyone sees this happen, yet Torres has to yell out the obvious.
Holy shit. You guys, they put bombs on our necks. They could blow our heads off with the...
Oh my god, I hate this character so much, and I hate this kind of writing. Shredded Nerd would blow a blood vessel if he saw this. Each warrior gets a weapon from their time. Ursa an axe, Kenji a sword of course, and Torres the old-timey pistol from the end of Predator 2 and from Prey. Now it's here. That gun was just to show that the predators have been coming around for centuries, and it was a cute artifact to turn up in another movie. But we don't need a whole fucking backstory for the gun, let it go already. So Ursa attacks Kenji, but he doesn't want to kill her. Torres gets himself eaten by a giant predator monster, but because he's a Disney character and this movie has to be stupid to accommodate that fact, he's alive inside the monster's digestive system. When the monster was first introduced, we got this hilarious scene of a predator trying to move it along by prodding it with a spear, and then getting instantly destroyed for it. It's a pretty funny moment, I lolled. This predator got eaten, and because of this, when Torres is inside the monster, he sees the predator's gear, and uses it to stab his way out. And when he does, he uses the control panel of the dead predator's arm to disarm the explosives on their necks. As if he would know how to do that with alien technology, and as if a basic guard predator's arm control would have security access to the prisoner's neck bands by the press of a single button. This movie has gone completely off the rails. Meanwhile, Ursa is like seeing her dead boy in Torres somehow, and eventually comes to see both Torres and Kenji as her boys. I don't get it. I'm not going to bother trying to explain this because the movie has pretty much lost me at this point. They team up to fight the King Predator, and Torres makes his way to the Predator ship, which is just open and ready to be boarded. And wouldn't you know it, because he's a Disney character that was a pilot in the 1940s on Earth, he immediately knows how to pilot the Predator ship.
Ridiculous.
Remember in the abomination that was 2018's The Predator, one of the rare movies in history that all mankind can agree is terrible? When the autistic child was able to understand the Predator language overnight and then gain access to their ship through the security pad, all with the magical power of autism? Remember how we all agreed how dumb that was? Well, now Torres doesn't even have the magical canonical power of autism, thanks Shane Black, and he's still able to instantly understand Predator technology, and apparently Predator warships and security technology isn't even protected by passcodes anymore. This is where I'm at. A Predator movie with a great start has turned into silliness with a Disney character taking the lead, creating an incredibly jarring tone after the quiet and masterful Japanese episode, with his constant quipping and blurting out his thoughts with, "Come on, think Torres, there's gotta be a way you can do this."
Come on, what do I got? Think, Torres. Oh, you're Japanese. I had to learn some of that in basic. Think, Torres, okay, Torres, think this through. How would you get out of the brig on the Ranger? You guys, they put bombs on our necks!
I don't think anyone wanted the main character of Forspoken to come back as the lead in a Predator movie. So they get onto the ship and take off, but of course it can't be that easy. The Predators shoot an anchor into the ship and start pulling it back. Ursa sacrifices herself by sliding down the chain and ramming her shield into the base of the chain, as if she knew that would even do anything. It easily could have just bounced off. She doesn't know what material that is. It does work though, and the ship is set free. Ursa is left behind as our other two heroes fly away as the Predators declare a hunt, and they all get in their own ships to go after them. In sequel bait, I guess? I hope not. Is this supposed to be a happy ending? Because all I can think about is how they have no idea where they are, no idea how to fight space battles with this ship. They're fucked. They're dead in 5 minutes. But I'm sure Torres will figure it all out, because it's just like when he was flying in World War II, you see? A plane is a plane.
Okay, he was a pilot in World War I. Those are different planes. Well, I mean, a plane is a plane. That sentence is not technically wrong.
God, what a mess. What upsets me isn't that they told a Disney-style Predator story. They can do that, and I can either ignore it or try to appreciate it for what it is. It's the fact that they mash two completely different tones together and it doesn't work. It's like if you took Silent Hill 2 and mixed it with Dude, Where's My Car? There's so much in the first two character stories that is genuinely good. Good enough to forgive whatever criticisms I have of them. And they had to go and ruin it by including a character who doesn't belong, who's annoying, and whose story stretches logic so far that it breaks 10 times over. It's a damn shame, because this could have been really good. I'll bring this back around to me saying in the beginning that I was conflicted on this movie. 'Cause I am. There's so much to like, but there's so much to hate. What I did like made it memorable in some good ways. It's just brought down by everything involving Torres, which is over a third of the movie. If you liked it, fine, there's slim pickings for Predator fans these days. There's enough to like about it to where I can understand how people are entertained. I don't hate it, but it pissed me off because it built up a lot of goodwill just to flush it down the toilet. Oh, and then we see that Naru from Prey is in a cryotube and I guess she'll be back. Okay, fine, as long as it's not Torres. Alright, that's my review of Disney's Predator Cock by Disney on Disney+.